Authentication is a mechanism used to secure a site by requiring credentials from the user. This is typically a username and a password. The simplest way to do this is to use either basic or digest HTTP authentication. There's lots of ways to do authentication with web apps, but HTTP authentication has been around for a long time and is typically the easiest to set up and get running initially. Many application requirements and developers require a more robust security model than the HTTP authentication. HTTP basic and digest authentication simply takes a username and password from the browser and transmits it to a server that can be checked for valid credentials. Digest will actually encrypt and hash the username and password before it's sent across the wire to the server, whereas basic will simply base64 encode it. It's not the most secure form of authentication, but it can definitely get the job done for certain cases and circumstances. Although this type of authentication isn't the most preferred by developers, it does show how to get authentication working with Zend, so if you do want to use a more complex authentication scheme, you know what it will take to get it configured and working. So what does it take to get basic auth set up? First, we need to configure a Service Manager Authentication Adapter Factory. This also includes the HTTP basic configuration, which needs password setup in basic and digest mode. These files will get set up in the main Zend config folder area. And last, we need to configure exactly how we want the authentication adapter to work with our app. Are we going to lock down the entire application or just a portion of it?